All right, Activision, I'm gonna hit you fucking hard as shit right now with this review. All right, so like I said, the review is in three parts: the campaign, zombies, and the multiplayer. I'm gonna start with the campaign since we just did that. All right, and so these are the notes I jogged down for the campaign. Obviously, the campaign is probably the best campaign I've seen in Call of Duty in years. With the way they set it up, it feels like it's right next to Modern Warfare. I'm not gonna say it tops Modern Warfare, but it's right there next to it. Each moment is memorable for what it is. Segments don't feel like they're dragged on forever. It's simple, quick, and they have a deep, rich universe here. They have background when you're on the ship on the Retribution. They have background logs of all the characters so you can learn the characters more. They do everything they can to keep you submerged into this game. And each character that you interact with in the fight are memorable, likable, and you don't feel like they are a nuisance or they overstay their welcome. Upgrades and collectibles have also been changed due to I don't know what caused the change, maybe because of the way the game is set up differently. But the changes is that the collectibles are actual upgrades that you get during side missions. Side missions, I think of them like Black Ops 2, but instead of it just being one side mission, there's multiple, and you can go at them at any order you want. And when you go at them, they have different types of side missions. They have Jackal dog fights, which are probably the most unique and polished fight system that I've ever seen. It kind of feels like Ace Combat, or yeah, Ace Combat, the game, the dogfight shooter game from Konami, not Konami, freaking Bandai. It's really thorough, really thought out. The customization for your Jackal is actually pretty nice. Wish there was more of that in the multiplayer, but there's not. And that's what makes this game kind of stand out, especially with the campaign. So with upgrades and everything like that, you'll find these armories, and when you go into the armories, you'll unlock new upgrades for your grenades and so on, and you'll constantly have these new perks stacked onto your character as well as your Jackal. And also, collectibles have also changed in the way that you don't find random computers around the map. Instead, you pick up guns and you unlock these guns in your armory. And as you keep finding more and more guns and stuff like that, you find more upgrades and attachments for said gun. Giving. In previous Call of Duties, like, I don't know what happened. In Modern Warfare 1 and 2 and World at War, giving was a thing where if you, like, killed somebody, you would actually see the body parts explode and stuff like that. It basically would show, like, how war would really be fought, because it made no sense that if somebody held a grenade and it blew up in their face, that their body would stay intact and they just hit the ground. No, something's coming off. And they really show that here. They really show that these weapons actually pack a punch. In fact, there's one weapon in the game that reminds me of the railgun from Doom, and it is fun as hell to use. Because you just charge it and you hit it, and if there's everybody's like right next to that railgun blast, just tomato soup everywhere. So it feels like you're actually doing something instead of it just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna ragdoll and hit the floor. I already said about the Jackal segments are really polished. The atmosphere, the universe that you run around in on the planets, you fight in like, space belts, asteroid fields, all this stuff. It just feels like you're actually in space, and it's really nice. The only cons I could say about the not the multiplayer, the campaign, is that the in-game engine and the pre-rendered cutscenes you see throughout the game do not match up well. You'll see these pre-rendered cutscenes that kind of look blurry at times, and it'll just all of a sudden go into the in-game thing, in-game engine models right there, and it just doesn't look right. Like there's so much detail. It looks like as if it's a CG movie at first, and then it just goes into like a different engine altogether, and it just feels weird. It feels out of place. You can tell that it's a little bit outdated when it does that. Because if you look at Black Ops 3, it didn't really do that. Like everything that was happening wasn't pre-rendered. It was all in the in-game engine. Also, certain scenes feel like as if it never happens once the cutscene's over. Like in the first segment of the game, when you use Ethan to break into a door to stop people from blowing up the headquarters of the UNSA. After that cutscene's over and you're escorting the commander out, if you look back towards the door that was pretty much broken off the hinges, the door is intact. It acts as if you were never there. So that kind of ruins the submersion a little bit of the campaign. Uh, Short campaign. The campaign's kind of short. It's basically like 9 minutes. Not 9 minutes. What the hell? 9 hours. 8 hours, depending. Keep in mind, I died a lot, so it'd probably round out around 10 for me. But it should be, if you do it right and you don't die as much, it'd be 9 or 8 hours. I already said that the graphics feel kind of outdated. Also, difficulty spikes. Difficulty spikes, kind of just randomly happen. There's two moments where it just spikes really fast and comes back really down afterwards, and it makes no sense why those difficulty spikes increase. And also the checkpoints, for the most part, are pretty thorough until those difficulty spikes rise. And all of a sudden you start at the beginning of this ridiculous fight with a bunch of enemies, and once you kill the whole group and you just die, instead of it like giving you a checkpoint midway through or once you covered a certain amount of the map, it puts you all the way back at the beginning. And it only happens like twice. So I don't know what happened there, but that's an issue. Repeated Jackal launch animation. Every time when you have to do a side mission or a main mission, whatever you have to do when you have to get into your Jackal to leave the Retribution, you'll always see the same launch animation. There's no variation, it's just the same thing. So you better get comfortable seeing that shit over and over and over and over again. There's only one time where it deviates, and that's it. The rest of the time, it's just the same launch animation, pre-rendered cutscene over and over and over and over again. And I wish they had kind of mixed that up a bit for the sake that you're going to constantly be in your Jackal going to these missions. Alright. That's out of the way. Zombies. Alright, so Zombies has a lot of... it has its mixed baggage. Thank you for purchasing and finishing our Infinite Warfare results dedication and made work together to create a gate. Infinity Ward, I'm gonna bash your shit. So, I'm not done with this review. This review sounds good on paper, but wait until we get to the multiplayer. Shit's gonna get real. Oh yeah, also, they added 2 new difficulties, which I know one's gonna be realistic. So, Specialist unlocked, so I bet you the last one's realistic. So, Veterans gotten toned down, because remember before, Veteran was like, oh yeah, you take 2 hits, you die. Now they actually toned it down a bit more, so if you look at it, it'd probably be like casual or whatever the hell the difficulty is. Let's see what the difficulties are. I can't even look at the difficulties. But whatever the first one is, that is easy. No, very easy. Next one is easy, and then basically Veterans normal mode now, because you can actually take a ton of bullets and don't feel like you're getting bombarded because of the new difficulties that they put in. So that's a bonus. I forgot to mention that in the notes here. Alright, Zombies. It has an interesting setting and characters, but my gripe about that is that it does not fit in this universe at all, because both the multiplayer and the campaign is set way out there in the future and everything like that, and yet this is set in the 80s. But I like the tone, I like the theme, and I also like the characters. The characters are kind of, you know, wacky and likable, kind of like how Treyarch's version of Zombies is. And I think there might be a connection, because we saw the Treyarch thing pop up right there, which makes no sense. But it would make sense if they were working on Zombies for this game. A lot of side objectives and challenges to do to kind of rack up tickets and stuff like that for the Easter egg. Only problem with this is that you get this game. The Zombies requires a lot of teamwork, a lot more than necessary for simple tasks. There'll be a challenge you have to do, like say kill a certain amount of enemies in a certain amount of time, yada yada yada, and if the whole team isn't really working together to do this simple of objective, you're going to be failing a lot. And then there's also in the arcade, there's like arcade machines you can work with to get tickets to for the Easter egg, and yeah, they give you like small amount of tickets, and it takes too long to build up on tickets. Also, certain things cost way too much, like doorways cost excessive amounts of credit just to get to point A to point B. Is this like this zombies feels like it requires a lot of teamwork, and this discourages people because I've seen a lot of people kind of just rage quit or just leave once they die. The good thing about the zombies is that once you die, you have a chance of coming back to life during that game, during that round, and not after like normal zombies, because you will actually be able to play a couple of games in the in this little room or whatever and build soul meter, and once you build up a soul meter, you can come back to life. You won't have, I don't think you come back with your guns or anything like that. You have to go buy them again, but they also remedy that by having a way to store your money in the map. You can go to an ATM once you power up that sector and put your money in, and then you can go back at any time to take money out or put more money in. So you have a way of preserving, you know, you have some way of protecting yourself, unlike how it starts you at the beginning of a round and you're constantly always dying and you have no way of doing anything because you have no money and all you got is a little crappy pistol. So that remedies that crap. So I appreciate that much. Let me see. Oh, Easter egg hints are not really like in previous zombie games. There is always some sort of like hint or clue around the map that tells you what you had to do. In this one, it kind of feels like out there, like you don't know exactly what you're supposed to be doing at first. You're kind of just running around blind and just trying to figure out how everything works. I mean, it's like that with every other zombies, but it feels really, really bad here. Like it's just non-existent. Like the only clue you get is in the beginning. It's like, oh, we have to turn all the generators on in all the sectors, but they don't say anything else after that. So it's pretty much non-existent, especially since the story Easter egg, for what I've seen, is very complex, just like Black Ops, just like, you know, Treyarch zombies. And the map is somewhat big and it feels really designed, unlike, you know, multiplayer. And it doesn't feel like I'm gonna be trapped in a corner or something stupid. Like, if I keep going a certain path, no matter how high the round is, I'm always somehow able to survive because of the fact that I have multiple ways of getting around them. I don't feel like I'm being boxed in a like alleyway or something like that. As long as I don't go into small corridors, because there's certain areas that do have small corridors, I feel safe and I feel fine. So that's nice. They actually give you breathing room, unlike in Treyarch's, you know, version of zombies. Is because it's kind of stupid when you got the zombies boxing you in and your teammates sometimes box you in. But at the same time, this could be a double-edged sword because sometimes it feels a little too big. Also, they remedy the thing with Bubblegum here with burn cards. I think that's what they're called. Burn cards are basically, once you kill a certain amount of zombies, you get the special power bar, and you'll have access to 5 cards. And each one has its own unique perk that you have for a certain amount of rounds, couple seconds, how many uses, etc. Think of it like Gobblegum. And once you activate it, that's it. You cannot get it back until you go to a vendor and reshuffle and reload your cards. Kind of think of it like Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, where if you charge up the I forgot what the meter was, but you get like a certain amount of cards back. It's like that, but I think it becomes more expensive. I have no idea. I haven't fully experimented with that because every time I played zombies, like I said, I was coming across the issue where people would just kind of rage quit from the game. So the zombies isn't necessarily bad. It's very polished for something that Infinity Ward has never done before, but I don't think Infinity Ward fully did this. I think Treyarch actually had some involvement with this. And one of the other cons that I feel like this feels a lot like Black Ops 3's, yes, the setting is unique and the characters are unique, but at the core level, it feels somewhat like Black Ops 3 Zombies, with the weapons, how you can upgrade them, and you have to level up a certain amount to unlock weapons to put attachments on them. It feels like there is no real uniqueness to it except for the setting and characters. as well as the story, but everything else about it just smells of Black Ops 3. And that pretty much is the synopsis for Zombies. Now, this is the one that everybody's been waiting for. Multiplayer. Activision, you're gonna eat your heart out. Bad. I'm gonna start with the pros, and by the way, it's little. Rich, in-depth customization. As a matter of fact, we're gonna go to the multiplayer for this one. Oh, I gotta restart it. Son of a bitch. Hold up. While I'm restarting, I'm just gonna point out the cons. Not the cons, the pros. Rich, in-depth customization. This is probably the more thorough customization I've seen in a Call of Duty game, where you have, you know, traits that affect your playstyle with whatever combat rig you choose. Basically, combat rigs are like specialists in Black Ops 3, and you'll have traits, a payload, or two additional things that are like specialist abilities. And once you have these, you know, create whatever perks you want, whatever attachments you want. They added an assortment of new like perks, like the amplifier, whatever the heck it's called, that adds more, recharge your thing or causes more reflection bullets, which by the way, that's a new mechanic in the game. Also, they had added a grenade that, well, not a grenade, but it's an actual like thing, a bobby pin or whatever, that actually heals you and regenerates your health faster. That's cool and everything, but when I mention the cons, it won't really mean much. Salvage currency to unlock some variants. That's new currency in the multiplayer called Salvage. Salvage is basically a way for people who cannot have access
Welcome to your home away from
to, you know, COD points or keys. So when you play through the game and you do various annoying tasks, you get salvage. Also, there's multiple factions that each one with their own unique objectives, and when you do these set objectives, you unlock salvage. Weapon variants depending on the level it is. As you can see, that's level 16. I think I have a weapon unlocked, and I haven't unlocked it yet for that. And each faction has its own list of guns you can unlock. So that's nice and all. Also, they added a new class called Classics, which are the classic weapons from Call of Duty's history. The first gun you'll unlock is the, you know, ARX, which is from Ghost, with the grenade launcher attachment. Then you have the Garand, I think the MP5. Actually, we're going to take a look at it right now so you guys can see what I'm talking about, because we're here. The UMP5. This is, I can't remember what gun that is. This is the Spaz 12, I think, and Garand. So yeah, you have those loadouts to work with, and you know, various other cool little trinkets and stuff like that. Now that's pretty much the pros. The cons, and I'm not gonna lie, the cons is 2 pages long. So let's get down to the nitty gritty, shall we? Map design is fucking terrible. It's the worst design I have ever. I don't know what happened. Alright? Because, yes, Call of Duty is a Twitch shooter. You know, as soon as you see the guy, you pull the trigger. But the map designs are terrible and are not good for this type of game. Period. In fact, some of the game modes can't even handle the map design. There is one map, if you play Domination, both A and B are literally down the street from each other. So whoever's stuck at C is pretty much ass out of luck because they already got B by the time the game starts. Literally, the map designs are terrible, and when you spawn in, the spawn killing is bad. You get hit from as soon as you spawn, from the front, from the back, from the side. You get hit from every direction as soon as you freaking get into the game. As soon as you spawn, just dead, 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 dead. And this is coming from somebody who's played every COD up to this point. And Ghost, this game makes Ghost look good when it first came out. And that's saying something. Okay, it's ridiculous how much spawn killing is happening in the game. The return of supply drops and COD points. You already see it up there. as of the patch update they had just released a couple of days ago, they added COD points. And the way this game feels, it feels like you have to put money into that. You have to put money into this game. And it's bad. That is terrible business practice. Nobody should have to pay 20 or so freaking bucks for a fucking supply drop in a Call of Duty game. Especially if you're somebody who's paid 60 bucks for the game, or 80 if you went and got the digital legacy edition, or whatever the hell that shit is called for Modern Warfare Remastered, or what I got, which is 120 bucks, the Pro Legacy Edition. That is pretty much a ripoff, and that shouldn't even be here. And this segues into my other problem. Low key rate, low salvage rate. You'll be lucky to get any decent amount of salvage in this game. Because if you look at the Quartermaster salvage crap, why is that gun 2,000? And why is it that when I play a game and stuff like that, and I put in 20 hours on this game, I forced myself to play 20 hours of this game just to see how the salvage worked. The salvage is a waste of time. You'll be lucky to even get 20. Alright? You'll be lucky to get 20 out of doing an objective from one of the factions, or just by random chance of getting it. Yes, you're guaranteed it from a rare supply drop, but the problem is that the key rate is so damn slow, you have to play at least like 10 or so freaking games just to get one rare. So that pretty much just beats the whole purpose of even having the salvage. Which leads to the point of what I made, that COD points feel like you have to pay for it just to have access to these weapons. Which is a complete and utter ripoff. These are pretty much free-to-play business models in a game that you paid $60 for. This is not worth $60, if that's the case. And like I said, weapons costing way more than you can actually get in game. You mean to tell me that and another thing too, now that we're on the subject, and before in the past, when you were a season pass holder, you had you got something out of it, something really big, because you spent the extra 40, 50 bucks for the season pass. It doesn't feel like that here. You know what you get? You get 10 keys. You heard me. 10 keys. Nothing more, nothing less. As well as additional 10 just for logging in. So you mean to tell me that my season pass that I spent 50 bucks on is only worth 10 keys? Yet you have all these weapons here that cost a ridiculous amount of salvage, and it takes forever in a day to get those keys. You play one game, if you can even stomach playing one game, you'll be lucky to get 2 or 3 keys during that game. In Zombies, you get more keys, which is surprising as hell. In fact, the key rate in there is way more than it is here. And it makes no sense at all why that is. But by the time you even get 30 keys, you probably won't want to play this game for the multiplayer at all. What else? Payloads. Too accessible. And what I mean by this is that every multiplayer match I've been in, you see those payloads almost the whole entire time. You see the claw, you see the eraser, you see the stupid freaking LMG with the laser. You see everything. Like, as soon as you spawn, you're gonna get killed by one of those things. And they kill you so fucking fast. It is ridiculous. And it just makes no sense. It feels like you die way too quick. Everything happens way too fast because of those payloads. Those payloads completely shift the game way too much, because you have to pay attention to not only the enemy you're in front of. Basically, you have to think, is the person in front of you, is he using a payload or is he using a regular gun? Because you're going to die either way from the gun or that payload. It's just ridiculous. And they need to tone that back really bad. Hit detection. The hit detection At moments, it's spot on. At moments, it's not. It's like Call of Duty, like every other Call of Duty. And it's really shitty is when you have a payload and when you're shooting somebody with a shit ton of bullets and they hit you with one bullet from an NV4 and you just keel over. And there's been a couple things that has happened when I played this. In fact, Crazy can vouch for me because he was FaceTiming me while I was playing, forcing myself to play this game for 6-7 hours at one point. It was really bad. And once again, we're in 2016. There is no dedicated servers whatsoever. What Activision has done is use that stupid hybrid server of theirs again. And if you guys don't know how the hybrid server works, it works like this. It's dedicated when you're searching for a match. So once you hop into a game, it goes to peer-to-peer. That's why in moments when it says migrating the host, you wouldn't see that in a dedicated server. You would see that in a peer-to-peer server. That's what that hybrid server does. It switches from dedicated to peer-to-peer once you're in a game. And honestly, it's just Activision's stupid attempt at saving money. Okay? And I find that bullshit when you have games like Titanfall 2, Doom, and Battlefield, as well as even games that have less production value and less money under their belt, being able to afford dedicated servers. Yet, this series just doesn't seem to have dedicated servers at all. It is really just, honestly, it's Activision just being cheap as hell, and I'm going to punish them for that. I'm going to bash on them, because if they want to do minor improvements, because this is what it is, it's minor improvements and really big setbacks, I'm gonna hit you hard every time you come out with a Call of Duty. I'm going to say it every time you come out with a Call of Duty with that stupid that hybrid peer-to-peer crap. Switch to dedicated or do something else. Some weapons work, some weapons don't. There's been moments where I use really powerful weapons and they don't do jack shit to a weapon that has low damage. Like the NV4, freaking be dominating everybody. But if I use like the KBR or something with a little bit more oomph to it, doesn't work half the time. And pistols sometimes work and they don't. Like I don't know how to feel about the weapon, like some of these weapons. Like they just don't feel like they have much damage or backing to it, and it just feels like they're kind of weak at times, and some of them are just not consistent. Movement system. This is the one that everybody's probably complained about, have said something about already. The movement system is just a complete and utter wreck, and it does not belong in this game. It feels like it doesn't belong in this game. You feel heavy, it's clunky, once you jump up, their boost is pretty much already gone, and you fall right back down. Wall running feels really slow and unprecise. And at moments, there'll be like on certain maps, there's little objects that are sticking out of the wall. And for some reason, your guy hits this and falls right off. It's like as if the maps and the movement system were designed with all this stuff last minute. It felt like none of this was in mind in the beginning. This is something that was thrown in because it was mandatory or something like that. And that's a problem. And it shouldn't be here. Also, the covering system and all that other stuff in the game is non-existent. Like you've seen through the campaign, I used the lean system and use that as cover. You don't see that in the multiplayer. I don't know why they took that out. Like they didn't have to cater set challenges and stuff around the lean system, but they could have at least put it in there for somebody who, I don't know, wants to actually be protected from the jump fest that's going on in the multiplayer. That's literally all the multiplayer is jump here, jump there. I had to change my control scheme just to keep up with half of these people with their bullshit. Because all you will see throughout the game is jump here, jump there, jump this way, jump that way, just to dodge bullets. And they'll even just randomly just jump at you just to get a kill. And it's really annoying to have to deal with that. Like in Black Ops 3, it wasn't as bad because, you know, the maps were built better. But here, it just feels like you're in a box. And if they just jump over you just a little bit, it's like they have dominance over you. It's like, if they're in the air, you have no say in the matter. You're already dead. And that's not cool. Like I already said, minor improvements and setbacks. And now we're on to the page 2 of the problems. Feels like a watered down version of Black Ops 3. And it does. It does feel like a watered down version of Black Ops 3. It doesn't run properly. The movement system feels a slow, clunky version of the movement system from Black Ops 3. The freaking combat rigs are basically specialists with ridiculous like recharge time, and you're gonna see that throughout the whole entire time you're playing a match. In fact, in some game modes, it shouldn't even be there. In fact, some certain game modes you shouldn't really be getting the payloads like that, but you do. And other game modes, you still see it. Like Search and Destroy, I've seen like the payload, I've seen like the Eraser and a couple of other payloads like maybe like 2-3 times. It's ridiculous how many times you see that in a game mode like Search. Oh yeah, game modes. Game modes? Yeah, there's a lot of game modes. It's Call of Duty. And there's a couple of new ones. But the problem is that these game modes are constantly being taken in and out. First, let's take a good gander real quick. Alright, so we're gonna go here. Infected. It was just there the other day. And now it's gone. And before that, Search was missing. Game modes are being taken in and out because they're having issues or glitches or bugs or something wrong with it. So instead of having people play it to figure out what the problems are, they take it out, tweak it, and then put it back into the game later on. And that's a problem because if you have to take game modes out of your game, then what the fuck is the point of having... Why did this game come out on November? You might as well have pushed the game back more. In fact, I said something about the beta when it was coming out, that the beta felt too close to the actual release of the game. I don't think you would be able to find all the problems with the game with that narrow of a gap. It was like literally like, what, you only had 3 weeks before the game came out? And look at the results. Look, the results speak for themselves, that they're literally having to go through the trouble of taking game modes out. And that's not even the worst problem with this. Let's go to the barracks real quick. Right? Where's the leaderboards? In every Call of Duty that has ever come out, the leaderboards were always there. They were always there, and you can view them. And you were able to keep track of your score, where you placed at, as well as your proficiency. Now, it's not there. It's not there. Also, another thing that's missing, apparently you can create emblems, but look, it's not there. Once again, another key mechanic that is in a game, that has been in a game for as long as its lifespan has been, is not there. Main components of Call of Duty are missing. Why? Because this game was incomplete. And you guys know how I feel about incomplete shit. I mean, I give Devil May Cry 4 a hard time every time I play that shit. As much as I enjoy that game, I give it a hard time because I don't like incomplete shit. If you pay $60, I believe if you pay $60 for a game, or even a collector's edition that's $80 or $120, you need to get what you owe. Alright? You get what you deserve. You don't get this. And this is pretty much a blatant slap in the face to fans. This is disrespectful in every way, shape, or form, and I feel bad for people who even bothered to pick this game up. What other issues do I have on here? It feels unsatisfying and frustrating at times. It really does, because you get all this. Literally, all this is just not satisfying at all. In fact, Crazy can vouch for me again. When I was playing this, you guys know how I felt about Devil May Cry 2. After the playthrough, I said that, the game literally physically did harm to me. It made me have a headache, made me feel, just tired. Like, I just didn't want to record after that, after doing it, because of how bad the design was in Devil May Cry 2. This game made my stomach, I'm not joking, guys, it made my stomach do knots of how frustrating it was. It gave me headaches, all type of shit. I wanted to take my disc and throw that shit into orbit, where it belongs. That's how bad the multiplayer had felt for me. It's just really just unappealing, just not it's just, there's no satisfaction here. And it's just really bad. Okay, if a game can do that physical harm to me, I'd rather play Devil May Cry 2 than this, and that says something. And like I said, it's not worth the full price. It's not worth 60, it's not worth 80, it's not worth $120. I don't care if it's for the remastered. Okay, I don't care if it's for Modern Warfare Remastered. Your nostalgia is not worth paying $80. It is not worth paying $80. In fact, Activision, the only reason why they set that up is because it's a plain freaking ripoff. They just wanted your money and they wanted to fluff up the sales for this stupid ass game. In fact, if you look at half of the reviews for this game are fucking ridiculous. One of the reviews from IGN said, and I quote, where is it? Because I wrote that shit down. Hold up. It takes risks and it pays off. What risks did this game take besides the campaign? It didn't do jack shit. It literally just copied and pasted from Black Ops 3. There is nothing unique about this game except for the setting. That's it. It's literally the same copy fucking bullshit every year. It is not worth your damn time. Now what else is here? I already said how microtransactions feel like you have to pay for it. And it's really prevalent here. In fact, I'm going to go into further detail. Alright? A lot of other games that have business models like that actually do it better. For instance, Blacklight Retribution. Let's use that as a perfect example. Blacklight Retribution, in the beginning, when it had its beta, let you have access to all the guns and everything. You could actually buy them with real money. Not only did they give you the weapons after they let you keep the weapons that you bought during the beta, but you also got all your money back twice more. So you're able to buy additional stuff or additional weapons, additional stuff. That's how you treat your customers. That's who you treat if they're willing to put the extra dollar into your game. Not this shit where they just take your money and they don't give you really anything back. That's how you do a free-to-play model. This is basically free and let me take more of your shit. That is basically what that microtransaction crap is. And people can make the excuse, oh, you can farm for it. But the way the farming is in this game, how long it fucking takes, you'll be lucky to get 5 rare supply drops by the time somebody who already has $20 in their pocket put into the game. It takes literally 10 games to get 30. So times that for me real quick. Hold up. I'll do the math for you guys. Hold up. I'll do the math. Hold up. 30 times 50. Alright, you have to play fucking 50 games. 50 games. To get at least 1,050 keys. Alright, so that's right there is a problem. And they lied. They lied. I'm going to say this, Activision lied. Here's why. Activision clearly stated that they would increase the rate of the keys. And Salvage when the game came out. Does this look increased to you? No. It's not increased at all. You get 3 and lucky 20 Salvage at random. And it's terrible. That is too damn low. And it still leads to that practice of pay to win. And the devs, I don't know what happened with the developers. It feels like it feels like 3 different people made this game. The campaign, so freaking thorough, so polished. If the Jackal dogfights were in the multiplayer, it would make the multiplayer so much better. To have its own unique game modes based around the Jackal. Like air supremacy or something like that. You know? If you're gonna copy and paste from other people's fucking shit, why don't you copy and paste from actual games that would do you justice? Not Titanfall. And somebody and I'm thinking it was M8. I'm thinking it's M816 that mentioned that the game does copy and paste a lot of stuff from other games. Activision is constantly stealing ideas from other people. Like the sniper that's in the game that I constantly was using, that turns into an assault rifle. Apparently, that's a gun that's in Killzone. That's literally how that gun works. You can snipe and then you switch it to an assault rifle. And the movement system, for those who don't know, it's ripped right off of Titanfall. And guess why? Guess why? Because Respawn Entertainment is your Infinity Ward. Those are the guys that made your childhood. They fucking are robbing from the people who made Call of Duty who they are. And it's terrible. It is downright terrible. Instead of actually, improving on shit that actually works, they want to try to copy other people's shit and try to... I don't even know who this is appeasing for. Honestly, from all the people that I've talked to, on Reddit, on YouTube, Twitter, I've asked, and even on Call of Duty itself, I've asked, do you guys really like that move? Do you guys really like the movement system? And the majority of the people say, hell no. Hell no. I don't like the movement system. It's freaking annoying. I constantly have to look above me. It used to be just to have to deal with the people in front of me or people upstairs in windows. Now I gotta deal with somebody trying to jump at me? What the fuck? That is literally what people have said to me. Every single time. Some sort of variation of that. That they don't like that jumping. They don't like the wall running because it's too much. It's not Call of Duty. It just feels like a blatant ripoff of something else, and it needs to stop. It needs to go away. Especially here, because it doesn't feel like it belongs. It is unwarranted, and it's not, and in no way, shape, or form satisfying, and it does not improve the game at all. And I hate when they say, oh, bigger and badder, we improved Call of Duty in so many ways. No, you didn't. This is a perfect example of rush products, incomplete garbage, and unnecessary microtransactions. This game robs you, the consumer, as well as the player base. If you love Call of Duty, if you value Call of Duty, do not, I repeat, do not give Activision your money. Do not play this fucking shit for what it is. If the campaign and zombies were its own separate game, that would be worth $60. The multiplayer literally deteriorates that. This game is not even worth $40. This game is worth roughly $30 to $25 with the way the multiplayer is. So if you're gonna pick this game up for the multiplayer, you might as well save your money and go pick up a game from a developer that actually gives you what you deserve. Go play Titanfall if you like the movement system so much. Go play Battlefield if you want an actual fun experience. Go play Doom if you really want to get some nitty-gritty gore going on. Play any of those games from those developers that actually treat their consumers and their fan base with dignity and respect. Do not give Activision any more freaking money because they're just gonna fucking take it and fuck you in the ass with the next Call of Duty. That is pretty much my review for Infinity Ward. Do not buy this shit if you're gonna play it for the multiplayer. Pick up something else. Or wait 3 months to get the remastered edition because they're gonna release that shit in a physical form. And pretty much that's another slap to the face of fans because they made people pick this stupid shit up for $80 or $120, and they go and tell a month later that, oh yeah, we're releasing as a physical and a digital separately, so you don't have to have Infinite Warfare physically on your damn PS4 to play the damn game. Yeah, very nice, Activision. Very bravo for treating us fans like shit. Again, fuck you, Activision. And that is my full review / synopsis of this freaking game. Everything else is fine. But this? No. It's not worth the nostalgia to pick this up, and it's not worth $60. Do not pick this up and do not give Activision your money when it comes to those microtransactions. Save that shit for another time. It is a waste of time. Waste of space, waste of value. Just no. All this unnecessary bullshit. The campaign is nice. It really is. But the multiplayer detracts from it. The multiplayer is an incomplete fucking mess, and the campaign, it shouldn't be that the campaign outshines the freaking multiplayer. It should be the other way around. This is Call of Duty. They might as well just stop doing campaigns entirely if they put so much effort into the campaign like that. Okay? It would have been a lot better if they actually added some of the stuff from the campaign into the multiplayer. All right, how cool would it have been that? And another thing too, that before I go, they don't have a rank mode, a rank system like Clan Wars. They don't have none of that. It's not there. And I feel like if they had a Clan Wars, it should be more like a Star Galactica type of thing where you got ships and you're pretty much invading other ships. And instead of it being one of the stupid maps in the game, it's actually on the ships. You fight in air combat in jackals and stuff like that to try to take supremacy before going into a map or doing whatever game mode. It should be something like that, to where it actually feels like like it's connected to the campaign somehow. It just feels like a copy and paste of Black Ops 3, but Activision will not do that because they just are really hard on wanting people's money. And that's my problem with this game. Activision has done too much and doesn't give back to their fan base. And I'm tired of it. It feels like that this game tries to appease the kids who don't know better. It's not worth the price. Not worth it. And I'm saying this not because I've played every COD. I'm saying this as a consumer as well as a dedicated player of any game of any genre. If you pay $60, you need to get what you earn. Not half-baked, not incomplete crap, and not shit that's coming soon. Alright? That's the problem. You need to expect more from your games. Because if you're one of those people that pick this shit up because, oh, it's Call of Duty, oh, I just want to do so-and-so, and you're going to put extra money into this game, think before you use your wallet. In the end, I can't say I cannot say if you're going to buy something or not. I can only suggest not to put any more money into this game. But I do mean it. Do not spend COD points. Do not do any of that. Because literally, Activision is just going to rip you off in the end. This is my final say in the review for Infinite Warfare. I'm getting off this shit. I'm taking this shit off my goddamn PS4. I already did what I needed to do. I am not playing this game ever again. Okay? I have other games that are worth way more than this. So I'm taking this out. I'm putting back my GTA 5. And I'm putting back whatever other game that I had on here. That was fun, this shit to play. I'd rather play those games than play this shit. Peace out, guys. And like always, go underground. I'll see you guys in Devil May Cry 4 in a couple seconds. For everybody else, have a good one.